दिलों में अपनी बेताबियां लेके चल रहे हो तो जिंदा हो तुम. नजर में ख्वाबों की बिजलियां लेके चल रही हो तो जिंदा हो तुम. हवा के झोंकों के साथ आजाद रहना सीखो. तुम एक दरिया के जैसे लहरों में बहना सीखो. हर एक लम्हे से तुम खोलो अपनी बाहें. I think I've gone way ahead. Let me go back a little bit. What I wanted to end with was, अगर Has It Will जैसा podcast सुन के भाग रहे हो तो जिंदा हो तुम. Hello and welcome to Has It Aged Well. I don't have actually I do have a cold, but I have cleared my throat nicely so that I can talk in my normal voice.
तो जिंदा हो तुम.
That was a great impression.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you so much. Farhan, if you're watching this, in case, well, I mean, your voice is anyway,
Yeah.
I don't want to like fucking roast him right now.
No,
You
but
want to be-
he's
In
in
case
on
you-
the joke though.
You're in on the joke, so in case you need a dubbing artist, I'm right here. Welcome to Has It Aged Well. My name is Abbas. With me in the studio is my co-host Urjita.
Hello beta, good morning.
Oh Lord.
I thought you'll do a Javed Saab impersonation.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
do that. Wait.
Do now.
Go for it.
दिलों में अपनी. Oh fucking. Wait, this is. दिलों में Oh God, I'm not able
No, you
to
have
do
to
it.
be
This
you
is-
have to be highly opinionated to make that thing. देखिए अगर आप ऐसा कहेंगे तो फिर
That's
तो
the
देखिए.
impression. You have to be loud.
And joining us today in the studio is someone we've been wanting to get ever since we started this podcast, and we were very delighted to know that somehow we have shown up on his radar,
Yeah.
and he knows about this podcast.
No, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it took him 4 months to reply.
Oh wow!
No. Okay, I have to confess. I have to apologize to Urjita anyway because she did message me, and then we're like, let's go straight away. I was like so adamant that we're going to do it like next week or something, and then obviously then we
Yeah.
stopped talking.
Life
and
happened. Yeah.
But then I came with the same energy 4 months later.
Yes,
I was
yes.
like, let's do this movie, that movie. So
Yeah.
yeah, but we're finally here.
Yep. He goes by Jammy Pants on YouTube. You must have seen him, of course, on his YouTube channel. He also makes occasional appearances at the Film Companion show with Anupama Chopra. Please welcome to the studio, Anmol Jamwal.
Yay! I'm nervous. Yay! But I love this show, and you guys are really good, and I love the chemistry. And
so much.
this is totally my wheelhouse. So yeah.
It's okay. Maitri, clear the check.
Also, I would like to mention that I chanced upon your channel through a YouTube algorithm only, and then the first review that I had watched from your end was of Asur, the web
Oh,
series.
okay. Yeah.
And I hadn't heard about the web series before that, so when I watched the whole thing, I was like, man, this is impressive. Like I'm sold.
And you know, that was just before the pandemic when
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
was really happening. Everything was dicey.
Yes.
So that was one of those off shows where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is that Arshad Varsi show.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, which starts off quite well, then goes.
It goes
all
kind
over
of-
the place.
No.
I defend
Start
it.
to end
Okay.
बहुत सही है.
Sure.
ठीक है.
Sure.
But I
Urjita.
think it was also the novelty of the rarity of that genre being
Yeah.
done in the series format.
Right.
So
Yeah,
more
yeah.
that. I
But then
guess.
so because I really loved the show, I was like, "Hey, bhai, Jammy Pants ko follow karna बनता है." So since
that's
then,
so sweet.
I have watched almost all of your videos,
No.
especially. Arey, I'm serious. Why?
No, my
Why?
immediate response is like, no. I just get awkward with these
Yeah.
kind of compliments.
Yeah.
So.
No,
I
Anmol-
get it.
Yeah.
Artists get really awkward, but then I was like, I have to get it out of the way, okay? Otherwise, मैं बीच में लाती रहूँगी. भाई, मैंने आपके देख के बहुत मजा आया था आपके
No,
video.
you said such nice things about us, so I also have to say nice things about your channel. So before we get to the movie and all of that, I have to say, big fan of your channel. I've always felt that when it comes to Hindi movies and Indian movies in general, there's always that vacuum I thought that was there. When you talk about mainstream massy films and what a film review is and all of that, which most people are doing, but you sometimes get into the really smaller aspects of it.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you before we started rolling, I'm astounded by just the sheer output of videos on your channel.
Yeah.
I think we were just talking about screen time,
Yeah.
so it ain't helping me at all. But you know, that was my like biggest motivations to start the channel because I
Yep.
thought that gatekeepers had already like sort of created a niche for themselves, that these are the people that you have to trust for reviews,
Right.
and sort of like regular folk couldn't,
Yeah.
who've grown up with this cinema.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
yeah.
think social media allowed that.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
why.
I also like the fact that some of your videos are not like film essay length, but
Yeah,
they
yeah,
still
yeah.
assess a movie. Like there's one about Dil Chahta Hai, there's one about Yuva, which we referred to when we did our Yuva episode. So I really like that. I thought that you go in depth, but just long enough and short enough that it's digestible.
See, for me, the most important thing is that this should be palatable to the masses.
Right.
And I'm anyway not reaching a lot of North India because I'm in English.
Right.
But a lot of South India watch the channel, and I see a lot of cinematic essays in blogs especially, which have very little viewership just because of the process of complicating it so much, where even the common man's like, you're talking about the Salman Khan movie, you know? So I guess it was important to make it more, accessible.
Yeah. Cool. At this point, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll get to today's episode, which is about Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa.
You should do it again with the voice.
When we come back, we'll dig into Imran. Imran and the rest of the company. I forgot the rest of the names of the characters.
Arjun and Kabir.
Yes, Arjun and Kabir. We'll get down to Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa, yaar.
Are you serious, Kabir? Are we really
मैं
going to do
तुम्हें
that?
train करने आई हूँ.
I was playing Kalki.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to add another character.
Cool. All of these characters on the other side of this break.
Hi, this is Cyrus Rogan Brocha, pyar se Rogues. I've come up with a brand new idea. It's a premium product called Club Cyrus Says. It's an offer open just for you. Let me tell you about the product. We've got exclusive Cock and Bull episodes just for you. That's right, just for you. That means others don't get to see it. Also, you get exclusive footage, extra bits, the uncut version of the interviews with celebrities. And these are huge celebrities, not small-time celebrities. Only the big guys come on the show. So you'll get the exclusive bits that nobody else gets. The extra tidbits, special stuff, uncensored stuff you don't want to put out. That's just for you. And for our audio listeners, you get special ad-free content and early access to interviews and sessions and podcasts which nobody else will get. You'll get it first. You're the first people. You're Neil Armstrong. You're Edmund Hillary. You're whoever discovered India. You're that. And by becoming an exclusive member of Club Cyrus Says, you get the power. We transfer the power to you and you become the producers and you will decide what content or what happens on that show. You are the masters and we are we can't use words like that. People who work for the masters, basically. So guys, get in. Special audio features include, I forget. I can't remember what the
And we're back on Has It Aged Well with Urjita and Anmol. Anmol, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa, 2011. This incidentally is the second Zoya Akhtar directed film we're discussing this month. We already did an episode on Luck by Chance. And you cannot divorce the context in which you first saw the film when it came out. So what are your memories? 2011, who was Anmol? What was he doing? And what are your first memories of watching Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa?
So I remember very vividly my theatre experience of watching this movie. I was in 12th grade.
Okay.
And boards were, I think, around the corner or had just finished and our results were supposed to come. Something like that.
Okay.
But I remember going with one of my best friends who's an extreme pessimist and a realist. And I was all about the movies throughout school. And I was in a predominantly sort of like privileged boarding school where it's kind of looked down upon to be fans of Hindi cinema or whatever. But I was always that closeted Bollywood fan. So I remember being absolutely immersed and sort of overwhelmed after the movie. And I remember, especially after that last frame, I was like, wow, I have to see this again. I have to take my parents. And I remember my friend going, chalo, back to the real world now. And I was just like, screw you, let me have this moment. I've been like absolutely invested and transported to this journey. And I remember, even though I'm a bigger fan of Luck by Chance, I was absolutely like bowled over with the visuals. And so for me, it was one of those experiences that I had to go again. And I took my parents the next time and I remember loving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Urjita?
Nice. This was 2011,
2011,
right?
yes.
So I was 13 at that time. And मैंने theater में नहीं देखी थी. मैंने थोड़े time बाद देखी थी TV पे. And I remember loving it.
Okay.
I was like, this is great. And because, so as a 13-year-old, what could be your takeaway from this movie? My takeaway from the movie at that time was कि हाँ यार family trip cancel नहीं करनी चाहिए पढ़ाई के लिए, it's fine. तो मैंने कर्जत trip के लिए हाँ बोल दिया था. I was like कि मैं
It's
भी
kind of sweet that
Yeah.
them going to Spain made you say yes to Karjat.
कर्जत यार मेरे वाले स्पेन के लिए मुझे कन्विंस नहीं करना
I
पड़ेगा
know,
ना
yeah,
किसी को भी. वो बोल रहा है जोया बोलती है कारपेट डियम, मैंने बोला मैं भी डियम, यस यस सेम सेम. एंड आई वाज लाइक आई विल एंजॉय कर्जत एज मच एज आई कैन. वो स्कूबा डाइविंग कर रहे हैं, मैं यहाँ पे वाटरफॉल में डुबकियां लगा रही हूँ. सो इट्स लाइक it's similar in
I
a
was
way.
about to ask, did your Karjat trip make you realize about things in your life where you're like, I need to make some changes?
Yeah, I need to make more friends so that I could go on trips with them and not my parents.
Ours was the post 12th Goa trip.
Ah,
So like,
okay.
we're going to go to Anjuna. We're going to have such a good time. This is before North Indians took over Goa. So
Right.
what a
The
blast.
last few good days.
Oh yeah, they don't exist anymore.
So you saw it on TV, and
I saw it on TV,
your takeaway was I need to see the world more.
Yeah.
After this movie, cool.
Yeah.
My experience was, so I had just quit dentistry. I had taken admission in my media college. I came back to Bombay. I had made new friends. That year probably was one of the happiest of my life because I was finally getting to do what I wanted. I had made new friends who also were interested in the same things that I were.
Yeah.
And this was our second friend college outing. Okay, second movie we saw together. The first was Delhi Belly. Okay.
Oh wow.
So the whole atmosphere, watching it with the company, you were trying to imagine when Delhi Belly came out.
Yeah. I was like ये दोनों side में आए थे क्या, एक साथ आए थे
Yeah,
क्या?
I think Delhi Belly was also 2011.
Yeah.
But watching it with new friends who I had just made, who I was first time happy in my life. At that time, this movie was, as you said, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's everything I want from a film. I didn't know that a film could speak to you in the way that this one does. The film is also about friendships and relationships and what goes wrong and how you should evade through life and its difficulties. So 2011, Abbas was bowled over by this, and I was like, the Akhtar siblings are making the cinema that I want. They've changed Bollywood forever. This is gonna be the new norm, and all of that.
And
But-
now,
But I have to say,
Katra is
since I have watched this film every subsequent time, I have actually liked it a little less each time. I'm not saying
It's a law of diminishing marginal utility. It's not really.
wow. ये किधर से पढ़ के आई?
eco.
The more you have of a thing, the less you want to have more of it.
No, but there are some films which you rewatch again and you love more.
Luck by chance.
Luck by Chance is one of them. For me, this might be a little controversial, but Veer Zara is for me.
Okay.
The more I watch it again, the more like I fall in love with the poetry. But I understand.
But then
where
also,
you're coming
it has
from.
got to do with the maturity of the movie and also your maturity.
100%.
Because वीर ज़ारा बचपन में किसको समझ आ रही है? I'm pretty sure I'm 24 right now. मुझे अभी भी पूरी तरह समझ में नहीं आएगी वो उसके nuances.
There's a whole fandom on internet which is pissed that they didn't give enough
Yes.
attention to Veer Zara in the romantics.
Yeah.
They were
By
like,
the
That was
internet
barely
fandom.
mentioned.
That was me. I got trolled by film Twitter because
Right.
film Twitter is ruthless as hell. They're like, did you even understand the documentary? Do you even know what Mujhse Dosti Karogi meant to wire? I was like, that's not the point.
Yeah,
I said
why?
I understand the beats of the documentary
Right,
and what it
right,
means
right.
to the production company.
Right.
I as a fan want to know more.
Yeah.
Nahi, I was just like, dude, sorry.
But also like, sorry, I'm maybe,
okay.
but like, why do you think they focus so much on Mujhse Dosti Karoge?
So it was
What?
their first, when it became a multi-release production company, that was their first taste of failure.
Okay,
So it acted as he already, I think Aditya Chopra said he didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
So it acted as a precursor of what not to do.
Yeah.
That's why he did Dhoom and
I think they did that just to show Aditya Chopra का view कि देखा मैंने कहा था ये नहीं चलेगी भाई ने बोला था भाई की सुनो.
I mean, they barely showcased their failures properly.
Yeah.
So I guess it was more a PR stunt.
Yeah.
Coming back to Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa.
Yes.
I was about to say the experience I had with Dil Dhadakne Do is the reverse. When it came out, I didn't like it much, but the more I watch it, the more it grows on me. So we did an episode on Luck by Chance with Sapan Verma on this show, and back then we were trying to assess who did Zoya make Luck by Chance for? Because all three of us realized that unless you're someone who's deeply interested in the film world and how it works, or just a fan of Hindi films in general, there's not much in Luck by Chance for you to attract you.
Yeah.
Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa, on the other hand, I think this is the film that makes that cliche that, oh, when Zoya wants to go on a vacation, she makes a movie. Whereas if you see her filmography, it's only this and Dil Dhadakne Do, which are like foreign locales and vacation type films, right? So I also have questions about, considering this film is written by two women, Rima Kakti and Zoya Akhtar. Does the film like the women characters in the film? Because the two prominent ones, one is a jealous girlfriend and one is a manic pixie dream girl, right? So so in general, tell me
who doesn't suffer as much as most manic pixie girls.
Sure, of course,
Yeah.
so tell me in general how much this film has an effect on your real life when it comes to friendship and relationships. Are there parallels you see in your real life? And of course, we accept the fact that this is a film about well-to-do people, rich people.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, which the Akhtar siblings again brought into the mainstream.
I think, first of all, I get so annoyed with that criticism of rich people problems. ऐसा क्या होता है, ऐसा तो होता नहीं है. But, the template itself is beautiful,
Right.
but the film's not about that. And I feel like I remember very vividly taking my parents for the movie and they're like, ये अनमोल तो बिल्कुल अर्जुन है. बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है, सड़ा रहता है, बस काम के बारे में बात करनी है and all. And I was in 12th only, but I was like a studious guy, so I presume it was that. But then I used to watch, I remember also very clearly watching this with a girlfriend of mine.
Sorry, hold on. Your parents had a problem with you focusing
No,
on your studies.
they were taken aback because he doesn't spend time with family. He always
Right.
wants to be in his
Yeah,
room. He
yeah,
wants
yeah,
to, ye goal hai, ye hi karna hai,
Are
and
you
all of
Tushar
that.
Kapoor from Good Boy, Bad Boy?
I haven't seen that movie
my
in
God.
so
Neither have I,
long.
Urjita.
No, but I just remember that
Please.
iconic song. And Imran Hashmi's hair.
Yeah, I really thought you would have seen it.
I think I
Wait.
did it for a Matlab Kuch Bhi episode,
Yes,
but a moment
the-
from it, not the entire film. I'm not.
Please, sorry. But sorry, continue.
That's
Yeah.
what blows my mind away right now also is that people expect every Hindi film to do well, like every week, like a Pathan comes and then
Yeah,
these
yeah.
movies come. But there was so much crap during those mid-2000s that didn't
Yeah.
work.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I was watching this movie with my girlfriend and she told me, oh my God, you're just like him. You don't want to spend time. You just want to talk about views. You just want to talk about kitta monetization ho gaya, ye wo. And I was just like, this is all for the future. It's like, stay in the present. And I was like, oh God, this is just playing out like Leela and Arjun sitting in that, looking at the stars. But it did play out for me where I felt like, because I started doing digital work alone. I stopped hanging out with the crew that I grew up with in school, and then that disconnect became even more wider when I started doing well. And it was only in passing that we would have conversations later, and they're like, "Tu badal gaya yaar, tu aisa ho gaya," and I was like, "Is this just playing out the same way?" And I felt this when Arjun meets Imran for the first time,
Yeah.
and I never wanted to reach that level of Imran meeting him, awkwardly hugging him.
Right.
You don't know what exactly
Right.
is the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah.
what transpired
History.
between them. But Arjun saying that he emailed him when his father passed away. And I was like, I don't want to be that disconnected with my friends that I reached there. But I remember seeing glimpses of Arjun and that playing out and being so laser focused where you forget about the world. Not necessarily ever finding a Katrina in the process,
Do you think the three leads in this film have good chemistry?
I have an unpopular opinion.
Go ahead.
I think Abhay Deol's kind of awkward to the point of his dialogue delivery. Sometimes it becomes a little uncomfortable even while I rewatched it again. With the first argument that happens after post throwing the phone.
Yeah.
When Imran's like, sorry, bol diya na, and all of that. Ab bhul ja. Whereas it's Arjun's prerogative to forget about it or not.
Right.
Abhay Deol says, that girl, she was a bitch.
Yeah.
Usne ye kiya, usne wo kiya. And then he goes, don't let her ruin this. And I was just like,
You are ruining this, Abhay.
Yeah. And even before he says that line, he does this to his spectacles.
Yeah.
Like a very rigid, awkward moment.
Seemed very calculated. कि
I felt,
उसको-
yeah, ये करूँगा, then dialogue.
Yeah.
I felt that was a little off. I thought Hrithik and Farhan were really good together.
Coming to the character that Abhay is playing in this, okay, so I feel like he's what we would call a feminist man today, okay?
Oh,
Like
God.
So for example, you know
Are you saying a
Farhan's,
typical feminist
Yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah.
like
So
a wannabe ally?
Imran might make a off-color joke in the presence of let's say a company of women, right? And Hrithik will be the complete other way, where he'll be very, very, very controlled. But it's the Abhay character who will be like,
मत कर ऐसे.
हाँ, मत कर ऐसे यार, देख ऐसे नहीं बोलते, you know. So he's and even when he has this whole conversation with Kalki, के if you meet a bunch of guys and you go out on dinner, I'll be okay with
मैं
that.
चाहूँगा
Like,
तुम
yeah.
safe रहो.
मैं चाहूँगा तुम safe रहो, but I'll be okay with it, you know. Whereas you know that, come on, let's be real, he won't be okay with it.
Exactly.
If
See,
it actually,
that's why I really did empathize with Kalki's character.
Yes.
I was like, if random girl's gonna land up on a webcam while you're on a bachelor's trip,
one who looks like Katrina Kaif.
and if the guy's reaction is, why are you overreacting?
Exactly.
That's gaslighting straight away. So
Even I was thinking that कि fuck, like Kalki ने माना ही Kalki ने थोड़ा exaggerate किया होगा, but even Abhay's behavior was not like really
you can't
okay.
be that oblivious to be like all that you're feeling is uncalled for. And I
Yeah.
felt like that's what he kept on reminding her. And I felt like it was all a projection of them having a faulty relationship in itself.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
So they're just constantly arguing because 6 months into a relationship, you've proposed to a girl just because there was confusion.
yeah.
And both of you don't want it to work out because you know it's not strong enough. So you're just finding petty arguments to have.
Exactly. It's like Abhay, he kept reminding himself that शादी उसको करनी थी, मुझे कभी नहीं करनी थी. And that is why he just kept finding faults in everything that she was doing. And I was like, man, poor girl was just trying to like find her way.
Interesting. Go ahead.
What I did find weird about Kalki though is that when he does show her the ring, her reaction is not to him, but to show it to her sister, I think.
Yeah.
Almost as if like she couldn't care less about the proposal or what it means to her in this
Yeah.
relationship.
Right.
It's like, hey, the world, look at us.
Yeah.
No, so how I perceive that is her and her sister must have had this imaginary conversation among them 1,000 times.
Can't
that,
wait.
Yeah, can't wait for him to ask you out. I wonder how he's going to propose to you. So when it happens, there is that thing ना कि आपके अंदर वो ज़्यादा होता है कि मैं अपनी best friend को बताऊँ कि देख it's finally happening, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I perceived.
But I
that
was
fact.
imagining if I ever like go down on one knee and ask a girl,
Right.
and she just turns around to look at her friend, I'll be like, hello.
I know that'll
I
be
need some
awkward.
attention right now.
I love the choice of hiding the context of that proposal for us till almost the midpoint or even later than the midpoint of the film. And the second thing was so my thing about Kalki's character is she's almost this possessive kind of a character right from the beginning.
Yes.
Like it's almost like I think somewhere in the beginning of the film someone is telling her they have a pact that they want to go and have it.
And
So I think right
she
from
was
the
looking
word
down upon it. She was like,
right
she was
from the
adjusting her
get-
dress and she was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
उनकी है कोई bachelor trip. I think.
And the friend is already like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Yeah,
please,
which is-
तुम्हें पता नहीं है क्या होता है यहाँ पर.
Her friend was looking at it like, तुम्हें पता है ना bachelor trips पे क्या होता है? Gang bang.
आग लगा रही होती है सीधा.
Yeah. So like I know I'm not trying to defend her in any way.
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to understand her
No,
point
it's
of
not
view.
about defending or
You're not letting me
being-
defend her. How
no,
dare you?
I'm just saying considering
Stop
that,
mansplaining.
considering that women wrote this film would
Yeah.
is that how women talk among themselves?
Not all.
Okay.
I mean,
That's all I want to get at.
see, ऐसा तुम ना generalize नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है? If you say not all men, not all women, ऐसा नहीं होता है. And also like, see, this is a character. Like, I would like to believe they were not sending out like a strong feminist message through the film.
I don't think they were.
Sure.
Yeah.
So like, I think it would be a little unfair to just reduce the whole Kalki character to that कि मतलब इनको feminism समझ नहीं आता क्या?
Right.
And that
As a
scene is also juxtaposed with the dude saying Ukrainian.
Ukrainians,
yaar."
Yeah.
So, you know,
exactly. So
there
उसमें-
is merit to them being kind of like sus about it.
Exactly. And also like we have also heard stories कि ये friend गया था bachelor party में, उधर उसने धमाधूम किया और
Dhamadhoom.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Okay, Urjita.
So,
Dhamadhoom.
No, but also when, like we mentioned, when Abhay's character says that, oh, she was a bitch.
Yeah.
Like that, that is very emblematic of locker room talk or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Yes.
That is actually how men talk amongst themselves. Okay.
Really?
That's even. I think. I think that's.
All of them.
I think
Not-
that's even more quoted. Like it's not even real locker room
Yeah,
talk.
exactly.
Yeah.
Real locker room talk, for real locker room talk referred to Donald Trump, but that's not a topic we'll go to. Another thing that stuck out to me and does every time I would rewatch this film, I feel like the humor is very forced. And while making the notes, I've written humor seems forced, and then in bracket I've written, is Farhan the reason? Question mark.
He's the writer, right? He's the dialogue writer.
Yeah.
So I partly agree with this. I found some moments really funny. Like I still laugh at Cookie and the situation
Yeah.
of Hrithik ever getting rejected by someone.
Right.
But for me, probably the most what was crickets for me was their prank.
Yeah.
Every
Exactly.
time they do the whatever.
Just yelling at white people.
It has very
Yeah.
it's just a prank bro energy, you know. It's not even clever. So I felt like that even upon rewatch I was like, ugh, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that DD joke was too old for me. So when the Doordarshan joke was happening, I didn't even understand it, and my parents were laughing. So I was like, okay, there's a generational gap over here.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But then like if you think about it, तुम अपने friends के साथ जो चीजें तुम कॉलेज में करते थे जो तुम्हें तभी cool लगती थी अभी तुम्हें नहीं लगती है. But then you still bring them up. Like everybody has this one story from college. Like something happened with me in college where I compared a phone, your relationship with your phone to an arranged marriage, and it's a very silly comparison. But even after 8 years, they keep bringing it up.
Wait,
My
how? Let me
friends.
tell me what the comparison
I'm
is.
not remembering. But
Your
yeah.
phone to arranged marriage.
Yeah, I said something very stupid because I
okay.
was very tired, and they keep bringing that up. So now, if anybody like gets to hear that, they're like, "इसमें क्या था?
No,
याद
see,
रखने वाली क्या बात थी?"
the PT teacher or the way he speaks is such a universal joke.
Yes.
On Reels, it's still carrying on.
Yes.
Yeah.
PT teacher be like.
Yeah.
And I feel like that inside joke works partly.
Right.
For me, it is the empty spaces that they fill with randomness. That's what hits for me. Where he's like, Pappu pass ho gaya, cookie fail ho gayi. Or he says something like, kuch ye alag nahi kar raha, ho gaya, correct. So, you know, just the way those dialogues are being delivered sometimes, there is shut up, yaar, abhi chup, yaar.
Yeah.
That I felt was natural.
Okay.
But I felt the gags which are placed as gags, ki abhi ye you know, we're going to point to the urinal or there's random guys walking on the street. That didn't ever
Correct.
work
So
for me.
I think like if we think about it, sorry Abhay, but if we actually think from the lens of Hrithik Roshan, if we think that this is his movie, then everything makes sense. Initially जो हमको awkwardness feel हो रहा है, वो ऋतिक को भी feel हो रहा है. Like all of them are feeling that awkwardness because of him. And if we feel awkward while watching the whole scene, then I think they succeeded in doing that. Later on, they needed ऐसा कोई तो प्रैंक उनको चाहिए था जिससे ऋतिक पूरा खुल के बाहर है, quite literally. And maybe for that reason the prank works because like after that, like because even right before the prank he was like, guys, this is so stupid. But then, and you won't expect him to actually go ahead with it, but because it's a tradition, he's like, fine, I'll do it. So and after that you just see him opening up thoda like be it his responses to Imran. Like he still has this little hate for Imran कि तू साले joke मारता है और लड़की लेके जाता है. That is his hate.
Dude, but like Imran exists in friend groups. So,
Of course, yeah.
And I wanted to whack the shit out of him from that car scene only. And that guy's annoying till he bloody gets a taste of his own medicine or gets hurt. But he's a dick throughout. Like I felt like he constantly hit on Katrina, knowing very well that Hrithik is very interested.
Yeah.
Till probably he met Nasruddin Shah.
So I was trying to compare him to Akash from Dil Chahta Hai. Okay, this cocky guy who thinks he's very funny, who thinks he's very cool, and which is why in my head I was trying to compare that how impeccable Amir Khan's comic timing is, and how I think somewhere Farhan falls short of that in this.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, there are certain things that are very funny, but like the whole Bhagwati thing. It's funny, but I feel like a better actor would have made it even funnier. You know, when he sees bag on the floor and he gasps.
Yeah.
It's a funny moment, but
Yeah.
a better actor would have just elevated it to a better level.
Yeah.
But I think Farhan Akhtar had this thing. If you remember, he used to do this show, Oh, It's Friday.
Yeah,
Yes.
of
Where he
course.
used to do a monologue, a late night comedy type
India's answer to
monologue.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think he has this thing where he wants to be a comedic persona and be funny, and I'm sure he is, but I think that just falls short a little
You know,
bit.
he is naturally funny.
Yes.
All his interviews, he's hilarious, and improv skills are great. But I definitely feel the forced humor in the writing sometimes.
Right.
Even the thing like, अरे Abhay Deol looks in back, he's like, क्या हो गया तेरे jokes को? कहते हैं, अरे तेरे पे गए हैं ना.
Yeah,
It is very friend talk, but it doesn't really hit. You
exactly,
know?
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think Dil Chahta is better written.
Okay.
From a comedic standpoint,
Yeah.
I think.
But then if you think about it, तुम्हारे फ्रेंड ग्रुप में भी जो एक इंसान होता है जो कॉन्स्टेंटली हंसाता रहता है, उसके भी सब जोक्स पे सब हंसते नहीं है.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
like
Of
I'm not
course, yeah.
referring to anybody specific. Just not relating.
But I think that's why
But still.
ZNMD works, because they're like, hi, so many times.
Yeah. Like I relate. But but that is why like I get his character. Like
Yeah.
see Akash, Amir Khan in the movie,
Yeah.
he was supposed to be the lead, right? So that is why him being funny all the time and him poking fun at others, it made sense. But here pe Farhan was not supposed to be the lead. I think they knew that right from the beginning. So that
Okay.
is why he couldn't like. अगर फरहान के सब jokes पे सब हंस रहे हैं and he's actually like being all charming and witty, then he'll be the hero, no?
No,
So-
because it is the moment he introduces himself as Majnu to Katrina, and
Yeah.
Hrithik immediately goes, Majnu, chhi. So, you know,
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, reflective of a friend group just being annoyed of him.
Yeah.
But like, can I share one very underrated Imran moment that genuinely made me laugh? तो जब भी वो कल्कि उसको बोलती है ना, when he speaks in bad English with the waiter, and Kalki's immediate retort, like she was like कि Imran please, तुम ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो, तुम्हारी वजह से दूसरे Indians का नाम खराब होता है. His reaction is yuck.
And he immediately Abhay Deol, Imran mat kar.
Yeah.
And Hrithik's best is, gandi baat.
Gandhi bhai. Yeah. He's enjoying. He's
Yeah,
enjoying that
fully.
moment. Yeah.
But do you both think that's what it is? That Hrithik's the actual lead of this film? And
That
then-
is what the whole journey is about him only, no? It feels like
I don't know. If you look at it, I think you're right about Abhay Deol. He is the referee
Right.
of both these
I think
personalities.
screen time wise, all three of them are split pretty equally.
Split pretty
Yeah,
equally.
yeah.
And I guess when you look at Imran and Arjun, basically Hrithik and Farhan,
Yeah.
they had a particular fear,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So skydiving and deep sea diving, you do it. Whereas the last one, it's sort of a culmination of all three of them,
Yeah.
rather than being specifically Abhay Deol. So I think it's a two-hero movie, and Abhay is just playing referee mostly.
Abhay is the supporting actor. Yeah.
Abhay is the if
He
both
would've
of them
won-
are Jay and Veeru, Abhay is the car.
Oh, wow. Okay. The bike.
the bike, yeah,
The
sorry,
sidecar.
the bike, the sidecar.
Cut this portion. No, but I think, they set it up immediately in terms of personality traits.
Right.
He's folding his t-shirts, pants properly. Imran's just dumping them in the bag.
Yeah.
The personality traits, the distinct ones are set already. Whereas Abhay in First Class is just chilling. There isn't a particular trait which really stands out for you to think, okay, he is this type of person and he is going through this problem. Whereas I think through the beats of the film, you already get hints of, there's history between Hrithik and Imran. Hrithik had some problem with his previous relationship. Imran keeps on bringing up Salman, and we don't know who this Salman is. I feel like the narrative does focus more on both of them than Abhay's conflict.
There's also a hint there that Imran might not have been born into wealth and money, and he probably got rich later.
Yeah.
Because there is that one dig that Hrithik's character takes at him, that 12,000 euro. कि तेरी तो इतनी तो तेरी तनख्वाह भी नहीं होगी,
Yeah.
right? And of course, that one scene between Deepthi Nawal and Farhan Akhtar, I don't know why, but it just gives the idea that they were born in a more humble background than the other two.
100%.
And also the fact that I think Abhay mentions at one point ke sports day pe hamare parents nahi aa pate the, but Abbu hamesha aate the.
Yeah.
Which again gives that idea that a middle class parent is more likely to show up for their kids than the richer parent.
That's also an underrated funny scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Ritik goes, मेरे पापा आते तो थोड़ा weird होता.
Yeah. But even Hrithik was facing a lot of difficulties. No, उसके dad नहीं रहे, and then बाद में he had to take responsibility.
But I think he's never. I don't think it ever comes across that there was any wealth problems in their house.
He would be Akshay Khanna in Dil Chahta Hai poor.
Well, if you want to put it that way, sure.
Didn't they have a bungalow in Bandra?
In
Akshay Khanna?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Not in Bandra. I think it was South Bombay.
South Bombay.
So that's what's supposed. That's what the portrait was.
Marine Drive के बाजू में ही था यार वो. अभी भी है.
दिल चाहता है.
But yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But even clothing, you can see Akshay Khanna is kind of like kurtas and pajamas mostly. And
But that was more like, I thought there was just like how a art
Aesthetic.
student would dress.
Got it. Yeah.
But also, I would like, since we are talking about these actors, this movie was supposed to be, initially, it was supposed to be made with Shah Rukh, Hrithik and Vivek Oberoi.
That's no way gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, some of these permutation combinations I hear, DDLJ was supposed to be with Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise,
You're like,
yeah.
as if ever that was gonna happen. There's so many of these: Shah Rukh, Salman, Amir, Amitabh Bachchan. So that's what they're saying for Pathan now. Huh?
Yeah, it was supposed to be made
No.
with Amitabh.
Now YRF Spy Universe will get Salman, Shah Rukh, Amir villain, Rajnikant super villain. You're like, relax. This is not going to happen.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about the Katrina character. And there's one moment in the film which was hilarious, which I want to talk about. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Hey folks, this is your host Anupam Gupta. I want to tell you all about Club Paisa Vaisa. This is a premium tier offering for fans of the show. Members of this club have a few privileges and let me tell you about them. Members will get access to episodes 3 days prior to the release. Members will get the archival access to all Paisa Vaisa episodes starting from day 1. And the non-members will still get access to the latest 15 episodes. I'll bring you weekly host insights, giving you my personal learnings from each episode on the show, and all of this will come with a completely ad-free experience. Finally, in 2023, we have some exciting plans for new exclusive content that is available only for members. You can go to club.ivmpodcast.com/paisavaisa or click on the link in the description and sign up today. As an introductory offer, it's at ₹699 for a 1-year membership. Note that starting 2023, all Paisa Vaisa episodes will become a part of Club Paisa Vaisa, and the non-members will get access to the latest 15 episodes. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on the other side.
And we're back on Has It Aged Well. With me in the studio, checking something on her phone, is Urjita. And we have our guest, Anmol, in the studio. So guys, we didn't talk about the Katrina character much. Up top, I said that she resembled a manic pixie dream girl. They chance upon her on a beach.
Yeah.
She's absolutely gorgeous. She happens
She
to
is so gorgeous.
She happens to know Hindi. She's great at scuba diving.
Yeah.
She is just one of those characters who I don't know how she earns her money, but she always has enough money to go to the
No,
next
she's a
exotic
designer.
city.
No, she's a designer.
Then
और
why
वो
is she
part-time
teaching
कर रही
scuba
है.
diving?
Part-time.
Holiday.
Yeah.
She
तुम्हें क्यों नहीं
almost.
पसंद कटरीना?
I'm coming.
तुमने कभी खुले आसमान के नीचे कटरीना को देखा है? क्यों नहीं पसंद तुम्हें?
I don't have any problem with Katrina.
Do you have a
problem.
girlfriend?
All the Hrithik and Farhan character are smitten with her immediately.
Yeah.
I think the
So
Abhay
Who
character.
wouldn't be?
Yeah. It's like Katrina can fix me.
Her
So-
best acting role.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I mean, I was actually up till this point she was still using a dubbing artist in a lot of films, but in this one she uses her own voice. But what do you have to say about the criticism that she's just there to serve the male characters and realize things about themselves, which is what a manic pixie dream girl is supposed to be doing?
I feel they did chance upon it. It's luck, it's fate,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But she was immediately interested in Hrithik. I think this became clear on how Zoya captures almost instant attraction.
Yeah.
So when they're taking shots on that table, there are those empty spaces of just eye contact
Yeah.
that they capture with Hrithik and Katrina. And Katrina's interest in anything where he's just monetarily driven, where she gets a little like taken aback by why this guy's so obsessed with making so much money. And I felt like they used the same close-up shot and eye contact with Farhan and that Spanish girl.
Right.
Almost like setting it in stone that there's bound to be something happening later.
Yeah.
So she does aid, I think, Arjun's realization
Right.
of like dil ki dhadkan and, you know, staying in the moment and all of that.
Yeah.
But I felt like she was almost her trigger to constantly meet these boys was that she was attracted to him. That's what I felt.
Yeah. उसको कभी अफसोस करना नहीं आता.
Afsaus.
I agree with all things you say, but there is this still, which kind of works in the character's favor also, this kind of mystical quality ki aisi, she's this magical girl who goes from place to place.
It's the simplest from a screenplay point of view, right?
Right.
How do I make this guy realize that, you know, thoda zindagi mein aaram kar. Let's introduce this girl. Like in Family Man, you have Chellam sir. If you know him, he just, for anything that Shrikant Tiwari can't do, Chellam sir will be like, hey, yeah, information. He's like, thank you, sir.
Right.
So I guess it's convenience for sure. But I was so surprised on how her performance was such a breeze. And
True.
I've been constantly so analytical and sometimes uncomfortable watching some of those mid-2000s performances with her. It was the first time where I was like, oh, she's so comfortable. And, you know, that's why I probably think, and because she didn't go through like massive heartbreak or trauma like most,
Correct.
like Deepika and Tamasha.
Or Geet and Jab Bhi
Geet
Met.
and Jab Bhi Met, I was like, this is
Right.
nice. This
Right.
is pleasant.
This is nice.
you know?
Like, I didn't mind her not being the center of attention in this movie.
Okay.
So I'm like, ठीक ही है.
There's this one segment in the middle where the film almost becomes like a before sunrise kind of a thing, where Imran is off in the room with his girl, and these two are chilling under the stars, literally. I kind of like that. It was sweet. I want to talk about one moment, which I always forget it's in this movie, but every time it appears, I burst out laughing. When they're about to do the jumping out of plane thing.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a montage where they're dressing up and everything. And guys, they have this one Top Gun moment where they're about to head to
Sare
the
Jahan
plane.
Se Achha.
And they play Sare Jahan Se Achha. It's hilarious. It's also even more funny because then they make fun of the Doordarshan tune which was Sare Jahan Se Achha. I was like, is this some inside joke by Shankar Ehsaan Loy? What is happening? It's hilarious. What do you guys have to say about that? It's not required in the film at all.
It is.
I don't know whose choice it was to put it there.
I think it's
But
one of
it
those
is-
gags for sure.
It is so cringy.
Do you think was that supposed to be like a hat tip to Lakshya?
I don't think so. I don't think so
I'm
at all.
overthinking it then.
I hope Zoya's watched Laksh. But what I felt was like that trigger of Imran saying कि यार अरे इतनी सुंदर scuba diving instructor तो मिली, and it immediately cuts to this guy who's just like, hey, come on. So I think that worked tonally, but सारे जहाँ से अच्छा for me was like, where did that come from?
Why?
But also, like, I just thought about it.
It's not even they're it's not even they're walking to like do something for the country. They're just gonna jump out of
Yeah. So,
Sorry, go ahead.
So I was like, so like you said कि फरहान जब भी बोलता है कि इतनी सुंदर स्कूबा डाइविंग इंस्ट्रक्टर मिली तो अभी कौन होगा. If this was a movie directed by any other male director तो वो इंस्ट्रक्टर भी सुंदर लड़की
Of
होती
course,
जिसके
yeah.
प्यार में अभय पड़ता कि अभय is like this is love.
What do you think about this popular opinion now of saying that the reason why this movie's had such an impact is because it's male characters written by females? So, I mean, that's the popular opinion now with Irfan Khan from Piku, Varun from October, and that these guys are nuanced, they're very in touch with their feminine side. A comment passed when he has that phone also, by the way, in the movie.
ये जापानीज स्कूल गर्ल का फोन नहीं है. हाँ.
So, what's your take on that? Is that
Urjita?
true?
I don't think they are nuanced. I think they are very... again, I'm watching them. I mean, one has to look at them from the 2011 lens when we weren't watching everything with a magnifying lens. But they're still very masculine characters. But they're very well written. They're very well defined. And Yeah, I am often. I mean, this is a weird reference to pull out, but many a times when I used to read the Harry Potter books, and they used to, J.K. Rowling used to describe scenes between Harry and Ron in the common room, and those dialogues used to be very similar to what I would speak with my male friends.
Yeah.
So I always think that women get men way better than men get women.
कुछ है ही नहीं ना complicated समझने के लिए.
So I think
Men are not that complicated.
the way they are supposed they write the way women write conversations among men are way more genuine and true to life than if men were to write conversations among women.
I'll tell you, okay, this might sound like a joke, but if you think about it, it's not. So women in general, okay, throughout their lives, they are made to think about everybody else, other, like, you know, except for them. कि तुम दूसरों की सोचो फिर अपनी सोचो. And men on the other hand, they're like, तुम अपनी सोच, बाकी सब अपना देख लेंगे. So because ये सब सोचते उनको सबका पर्सपेक्टिव पता चल जाता है. Because we are like, you know, अगर ये किया तो इनको बुरा लगेगा, ये किया तो इनको अच्छा लगेगा. I should do this to impress them. ऐसा सब औरतों को बचपन से रहता है. So I'm just like trying to like draw a parallel between why female writers are able to like write male characters better, and it's not.
I think that's what they say. The distinction between a Zoya Akhtar film versus a Love Ranjan film will be that.
Yeah.
You know, it's more locker room talk essentially in one film and all encompassing in another.
Yeah.
Correct. You have anything else, Urjita? Yeah.
But I have to say, like, for me, why it's lived on for so many years and why I keep on revisiting is the dearth of road films with,
Yes,
Hindi
thank
films.
you.
And I think the reason why I keep on rewatching, say, Dil Chahta Hai or Zindagi or Karwa also sometimes is because of the way it's shot. And
Jab We Met.
Right now, there's such a saturation of digitally created backgrounds.
Right.
Now everything is green screen, everything studio produced. Now you don't even see real locations ever. Even in, when you're doing like massive action films, they wanted to all do it in Bandra only. So I think that's why it's lived on also because Khwabo Ke Parinde is still such a painting.
Short song.
And I feel like that's such a rarity now.
Yeah, I was telling Urjita also in our Jab We Met episode that Imtiaz Ali has kind of mastered this way of shooting songs while traveling, which is such a sight to see, and I think that scene in Khwabo Ke Parinde also in this film is beautifully shot. Let's talk about the music before. Go ahead.
Sorry, I had a point that so Farhan in the movie, he's a full-time writer and a part-time random woman approacher. So see, he approaches the air hostess in the beginning. जब वो गाना चल रहा होता है, he makes this eye contact with her, and she's like okay, and then he goes and talks and very gentle. It's not like hello madam, मेरे साथ आती क्या? It is not like that. He's having a chat with her.
It doesn't cut to them having sex in the cockpit.
But if that happens in real life, sometimes it's like, go back to your seat, sir. What are you doing?
Yeah. Then he approaches Katrina, the Spanish girl, and Katrina rejects his advances also, and he's shown dealing with that very nicely. So like, do you think ये पूरा जो उसका arc है, this was shown just to show that boys, it's not like it's not a problem to approach random women, but if you want to do it with finesse.
And if
Do
she
it
says
like
no,
that.
back off.
Exactly. So
if you get rejected, just take it in the chin. It's fine.
Like you don't have to like think about कि but I'm a nice guy, मैं अच्छे घर का लड़का हूँ. हाँ,
मैं वैसे interested नहीं था.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Do you think that's...
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Because Imran for me was never a creep.
Yeah.
Even in his sort of like keeping Bhagwati on the side and sitting next to Leila, I think Leila also found him very harmless.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. She
True.
was okay with him.
I was going to talk about the music, but before we come to the music, let's talk about that pivotal moment that comes when Imran meets his birth father, played by Naseeruddin Shah. And I remember back then, I think it was a Dainik Bhaskar or Dainik Jagran review of all places, where the film critic pointed out in his review that it's very, very rare in a Hindi film that a man accepts the fact that he's not okay with being a father. He was never okay with it. He's still not okay with it, right? And I think that's a very fair point. Yeah. And there's this thing that every Akhtar sibling film will have a
Daddy issues.
daddy issues in built into the film.
You know what's crazy is the history of Hindi cinema. So I do this sort of like cringe-worthy episode on the channel, which
Right.
does like 80s and 90s content. It's all about the woman being shamed for either not having a boy or just not birthing any child, and it's all laid down on the fact that her body doesn't work.
Right.
She can't bear children.
Right.
And the entire narrative of those films used to be about shaming her, about banishing her, and then she would be in some ashram and some savior would come. It was all that during the
Yeah,
80s and
yeah,
90s.
yeah.
And I feel like it is, I think Urjita sent a video yesterday where
Yes.
she had seen Nasruddin Shah's clip. It's so interesting that he does a movie here where he accepts in not wanting to be a father and abandoning
Yeah.
a boy,
Yeah.
and in the other he in Gehraiyan
Yeah.
embraces a child which wasn't his.
Yes.
So I thought that scene was beautiful though.
Yeah. That's a standout of the film. Also, we've done this is the third film where we realize that Nasruddin Shah has this pattern of leaving children when being an
yeah.
absentee
Yeah.
father. There's Masoom, there's Mehuna,
Yeah.
there's this, and there's one more film we'd covered where again Nasruddin Shah was like, I'm done with this shit and just leaves. So I don't know, Naseer Saab, why
जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा maybe, but बाप मिल सकता है. ठीक है.
God. And also how naturally he rolled that cigarette throughout that scene. I was more distracted in that. How is he remembering his dialogues while so meticulously?
Yeah. But like, so I am reading a book about screenwriting right now, and उसमें भी उन्होंने बताया हुआ है कि you need, if you want to catch people's attention, इनमें से इन तीनों में से एक एलिमेंट तो भी तुम्हारी मूवी या तुम्हारे शो में होना चाहिए, बिकॉज पीपल रियली लाइक रेजोनेट विद दीज इमोशंस. वन, योर रिलेशनशिप विद योर पेरेंट्स, your relationship with second, your relationship with your partner or crush or whatever, just love, romantic love, and third, your relationship with your work. And I've realized that ये जो तीन चीजें हैं ये constantly like
all three of them are in the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
ये तीन जो plot points होते हैं ये वो करते ही है कि नहीं यही होना चाहिए. Like
actually each of them is representative
exactly
of all of them. Yeah.
This is what Aditya Chopra also said. Na? If you want to be star, then you have to be everybody's son, everybody's lover, everybody's something. So it was more or less that only. But you know what, I was watching Michael Caine like talk about, like, if you have a close-up, like, how do you really grasp the attention of the audience? And it's almost a sense of looking at the corner of someone's eye and not blinking a lot. So if you see a lot of Nasruddin Shah's shots, he's not blinking at all. And he's constantly talking to someone. And he's so in
Now
the
that you
zone.
mention
it works.
So in the zone that you're almost sort of like so invested.
Right.
Whereas, with all due respect, if you see Katrina's shots, she blinks profusely.
Yes.
She blinks to the point where it's almost distracting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's, I think, one of the reasons also why that works.
That's
that
a
scene.
really nice point. Yeah.
Did you guys know that Anupam Kher was supposed to be in the movie as Farhan's stepfather?
Oh,
yeah.
That would have been sweet.
And I also like the fact that when Naseer bails them out, he does this whole thing where he's like, "Aap kya karte hain?" And he's like, construction ka business, and he's like, "Galti ho jati," you know. So he and then they say, "Hey, tere papa jaise," you know. So he's actually nailing the jokes which Imran would have failed at. So I thought that was like,
wow.
But immediate,
यही तो नहीं सीखा मेरे बाप से.
but immediate dad judgment, हाँ? क्या करते हो? अच्छा. I felt like.
और वो खुद आर्टिस्ट है.
no, but he does the whole corporate gig wala thing ना, like हाँ, सबको करना पड़ता है, मैं भी अपने लिए.
He is the male Katrina Kaif in the movie. He's like, ये क्या है, मजदूरी नहीं करनी चाहिए, अपनी दिल की सुनो.
I think that's why, you know, with like movies like Tamasha and ZNMD, a lot of people do get kind of like annoyed with it because they're doing their 9-to-5 corporate jobs, which they might be, you know, loving also, or some doing it very begrudgingly, but they're just like, screw this bloody, it's not pragmatic, ये क्या जिंदगी जियो पल साला मुझे कल ऑफिस जाना है.
See, because the problem is like कि तमाशा और ZNMD तुमको अपना passion follow करने बोल रही है, assuming that you have talent.
Yeah.
That's
And you know, that's what happens. So many of you, if you see their Q&As, I felt when Ranbir was promoting Sanju, I remember, everyone in the audience for his interviews was like, Tamasha changed my life. Tamasha changed my life. I am script writer now. I am actor now. And I was just feeling, how many, like Aram Nagar must be packed right now just because of Tamasha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the music of the film. So, the Tomatina song was a huge rage. I remember India started doing some of these Tomatina parties, and
Did
I was
they?
like, guys, yes.
Where?
Yes, in Delhi. There was some in Bombay also.
What?
I was like, guys, please.
That's just calling for harassment, dude.
Yeah.
Yahan par nah.
But the music has aged extremely well. I think all the songs still totally bang. And what's your favorite song from the film?
Suraj ki baahon mein.
Okay, the end credit
such a
song.
beautiful
yeah,
song.
Yeah.
really good song.
Very nice. Song.
I like the opening credit song. The ding.
Yeah. But also like don't you so with all Zoya Akhtar films वो सारे dialogues पहले English में लिखते हैं और फिर हिंदी में.
Yeah.
So in this movie I didn't feel that, but I felt that only during this song. Hey चलो ना गाए नए नए गीत इन दिनों फूल और तारे
But I think
कोई देखता नहीं.
But I don't think they've written the lyrics, no?
I don't know, but it seems like ये पहले English में लिखा
No,
था
I think
because.
the lyrics are by Javed Akhtar only. Yeah.
But like if you think
Javed
about
Akhtar
it,
trying to be hip and all, yeah.
hey चलो ना
Yeah.
ये गाना कोई इंडियन आइडल में नहीं गा रहा ठीक है. Have you ever heard anybody sing this song?
Yeah.
You cannot sing it in a setting कि hey चलो ना नहीं हो सकता है.
It is a like quintessential wedding song though. Yeah. Like the engagement thing.
Engagement or the walk to
Walk.
the stage.
Yeah. Khwabon ke Parinde is for me.
Yeah, for me also.
Because
It's
I saw
really also.
Ritik so relaxed finally. It's almost the
Yeah.
impact of what love does to you.
Yes.
Like button down shirt, he's taken off his shoes, his feet are on the, the pad of the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
I love that song. Yeah,
Which by the way you shouldn't do. It's dangerous. PSA.
I think Shankar Ehsaan do their best work in the Akhtar films.
Maybe.
Dil Chahta Hai, Dil Dhadakne Do.
उनको भी घुमाने लेके जाते होंगे ना, maybe that's why.
also true. Yeah.
But also like I like the point that you brought up कि he seemed very relaxed in Khwabon ke Parinde. My thing with Ritik was that he is such a great actor that I was feeling for him throughout the film. I was like यार ये बेचारे को कोई हक करो, कितने problems है इसकी life में. And when you finally see him happy and relaxed and that, not relaxed, happy and like just like yeah, I love life, I love my life. वो Tomatina festival में I felt so much joy for him.
Dude, he's too good, and I get called out a lot for fanboying for him because I fell in love with movies because of him. Like dance movies, everything was all because of him. And now that if he comes in a really bad movie and I sort of like resist my criticism that ab bolla gali de usse ab bol. So but he's lovely.
Yeah. But also over here I would like
I
to
love Anmol's troll voice in his head.
It's the I keep on hearing I saw the episode with Ronak. It's that Ronak voice only. Ronak, he has one voice for everything.
Yeah.
I like how for everybody the troll voice is different. For me it is like kya re. For me it is that कि क्या रे female funny ऐसा कुछ तो. But yeah, I would like to like talk about this 2010-11 के बीच में. I'm not sure if I'm getting the date right, but एक dance show आता था, Just Dance.
Of course,
Yeah, yeah.
You know
of
this
course.
show, right? So this was, I think, the only show that was judged by Hrithik Roshan, and this
Oh.
was the only time like he appeared on a reality show. And man, he was so fucking nice. Like every time a contestant would tell their sad story, he would either go hug them. He would have like tears in his eyes, so much empathy. He would
But
go hug
not-
them. या तो वो उसने check भी कितने लोगों को दिया था.
But
ऐसे
it
ही.
wasn't cringeworthy like Neha
Yeah.
Kakkad crying and everything in Indian Idol.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the title song of Just Dance.
Yes.
I had learned the entire choreography. Dude, he's
Yeah.
next level.
And I remember when he completely stole my heart. जब भी मैंने वो शो पूरा देखा, I'm sorry, but towards the end सबके एक एपिसोड था जिसमें सबको अपने फैमिलीज लाने थे, ठीक है. And he was like talking to everybody like कि man आप कैसे हो, and then he was like आप सबके फैमिलीज देख के मैंने सोचा मैं भी अपनी फैमिली लेके आऊँगा. And he got Suzanne, Rakesh
wow,
Roshan,
yeah.
everybody. You remember that
Yeah,
episode? सब
yeah.
ऐसे ट्रेन गाड़ी रेल गाड़ी करके आ रहे थे. It was so innocent. I'm sorry, I'm just
That's
that
okay.
just shows how he's so
and a movie and a series made with that kind of heart gets cancelled after season 1.
yes,
Yeah.
and he never does reality shows after that because I'm pretty sure वो checks इतने दे रहा होगा, बोले कि भाई काम से आराम से आप जितना कमा नहीं रहे हो उतना दे रहे हो लोगों को.
Okay,
But
this
yeah.
is a digression, but so what did you think of Vikram Vedha when it came out? I
So,
don't think I've seen that review. Of
I
it.
think I may have seen the original film like 3-4 times.
Right.
I still felt that Hrithik held his ground and made the antagonist his own. I didn't feel like he mimicked Vijay Sethupathi at all.
Right.
But for me, I think the biggest gripe that I had was, one, it was a scene-to-scene remake. There's nothing changed.
Right.
And I think one of the biggest problems of that movie is that it never feels like they're in Lucknow. But I felt like Saif, as the cop, combative nature of both the characters didn't really work. So Hrithik was intimidating as hell, but I couldn't really feel the stakes to be high enough. And I felt the action sequences were not choreographed well at all. I hear that Hrithik had just come back from multiple injuries, so he couldn't do a lot of the action sequences.
Right.
So they masked a lot of it,
Right.
not making the action really exhilarating.
Okay. And the last big thing he did before that was War, right?
Yeah.
So,
But you know, it breaks my heart, Abbas, because now in interviews he's saying that he can't go out on the limb to do these kind of characters because he assumes that the fans don't want to see him in that light. So he's going to do more of wars and more of fighters where he's
Right.
playing Air Force officer.
Yeah.
You know, these larger than life canvas films rather than do a Guzarish or a,
Right.
you know.
Or koi mil
So
gaya.
I saw a video, I think which dropped yesterday or day before, you're talking about these big budget action, everything universe, connected universe thing that's happening now. And I'm assuming he's at some point going to show up in the spy universe whenever the next one comes out. So again, this is not to do with ZNMD, but when do you think that that phase will fade out and we might start seeing more?
So I think the cinematic universe thing will carry on for another 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But just blockbuster action films will never go. In my opinion, like the Shah Rukh Salman big star, like I think Shah Rukh's also come to the point where he's like, I just want to do movies which people like,
Yeah.
rather than what I creatively resonate with. And I think that's led to the kind of projects he's doing now.
Right.
But also like, don't you ever think that शाहरुख को जितना फेम मिल सकता है मिल गया है, उसको global recognition मिल गया, he has got everything. Now, why is he not doing the kind of cinema that he wants?
I'll tell you, the north of India works on a completely different template in terms of what the reception of the audience is. If you look at big stars in, say, from Kerala, like Mammootty and Mohanlal, they're the biggest names from Kerala.
Right.
They do 4 to 5 films a year. They're superstars, but they do really eccentric work and the audience doesn't judge them.
Okay.
So, like a Mammootty will do a Lijo Jo's Pillisari movie, which is like super eccentric and layered to the point where it doesn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay? But if Shah Rukh does a flop, it's all about how the movie was a flop, how it didn't recover its cost. It's not about the quality of the film. It's about that this superstar had a flop movie. And that's what Zero is for everyone. Flop picture ki thi, usne bona tha usme. Which is like, I feel like now with Akshay Kumar, he's technically, if you look at it, he's made all the money he can and more for future generations, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he still does 4 to 5 movies a year, which he can take a step back from. I feel like that's what's hindered his sort of like commercial box office success previously. Now people have got sort of tired of seeing him every 3 months or 2 months. But I feel like the Hindi film market is all about box office. And they're obsessed to the point where the movie is like secondary. Whether it did well or not then equates to its quality. Whereas especially in Tamil and Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they can still like be like, this is a great film, it didn't do well.
Right.
Ranbir Kapoor takes 4-5 years later to be like, wo achhi picture thi. You know, a Jagga Jasoos was interesting. But when it was there, they're like a flop actor hai. Ab superstar nahi banega ye.
So वो जो उनका prank है कि मैंने तेरे बारे में सुना. Has any of you tried it?
Oh, that.
I think someone did, but the follow-up questions were so many, it never was successful. Like, kya bol raha hai tu? You've done it successfully.
I'll tell you what happened, okay? It was a party. I was very dumb. I was 15 or 16 at that time, okay?
So you had just seen the game.
Yeah. तो just seen 2-3 साल हो गए थे. तो मैं वो पार्टी में गई थी. It was a family function, okay? Mistake. मैं उधर गई and उधर एक cousin थी, ठीक है? मैंने उसको पूछा कि मैंने तेरे बारे में सुना. And she was like, मैंने भी तेरे बारे में सुना. And because I never thought, I never took her as this girl who would watch Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa वगैरह, तो इसलिए मुझे लग रहा था इसको थोड़ी ना पता होगा. And she said it with so much conviction. I was like, क्या? And at that time, I remember I was going out with this guy. This was my first ever boyfriend.
At 15?
At 15, yeah. अरे normal होता है यार.
That's okay. I shouldn't judge.
तो
Sorry.
in my head I was like, काला तालाब पे पकड़ा है क्या इसने मुझे? उसके साथ
तालाब?
घूमते हुए. काला तालाब is Kalyan's Marine Drive.
Okay.
So when she said
Okay.
it with so much conviction, मैंने भी तेरे बारे में सुना. And she like did the eye movement and all. I was like, क्या? She's like,
And then you did
लड़का.
it. Who told you?
So she only asked कि लड़का. उसने randomly word फेंका and I was like, कहाँ देखा तूने?
And then you folded.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she was like,
You played yourself.
yeah. And she's like, मैंने देखा. And I was like, यार प्लीज किसको मत बताना. And I was like, man, how do I end up in? उसके बाद मैंने लाइफ में कभी किसी पे कोई prank नहीं किया. This was my flop story.
Kala Talao. Okay.
Yeah.
I will. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay, good. So Farhan is making the female road movie version of this
Will that
now.
happen though?
Is it up in the air?
Really?
I mean, they announced with a lot of fanfare.
Yeah.
I mean, it was announced quite a while back.
I know, yes.
They were supposed to start shooting abhi 2023 mein, no? So I think it will take time.
But Alia is now taking care of baby, you know.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
then what
If it happens,
Katrina has baby then?
Wow.
I'll tell you all these
Chile.
Bollywood
No.
mothers and motherhood.
But I was, but so like this is a very interesting point that you brought up, not the mother wala. But I wanted to ask that, so जैसे ये तीनों के जो थे अभय, ऋतिक and इमरान, इन तीनों के लाइफ में conflicts थे अलग अलग. What do you think इन तीनों के लाइफ में क्या conflicts है? Do you want to predict
Like the female version of it?
Yeah.
Why can't it be? I mean, it can be similar also, na? Work, life, and family. Work, relationship, and family.
Are we already assuming that they'll be in different age demographics?
I mean, given the actresses, aren't they?
Like, so they'll be the same age. Priyanka, Katrina, and Alia.
No, maybe
I'm-
Priyanka will be the senior then.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Call it
it'll be not the same age. It'll be a little bit of a elder.
Or
younger
what if they
dynamic.
completely flip the narrative and Alia plays their daughter?
Oh God, that's a film. That's an Anurag Kashyap
Yeah,
film.
that's a whole different film.
But I feel like Priyanka and Katrina will already be with their partners, and Alia ki shadi ho rahi hogi,
Ah, nice.
and they go on their bachelorette together, her bachelorette together, and then they unfold that Katrina is with a sexist who didn't. But वो दिल धड़कने दे हो गया ना, Rahul Bose.
Sexist.
I know, yeah.
Or it could be like some guy who makes fun of the fact that Katrina doesn't understand Hindi.
But they did
Meta
that.
हो जाएगा क्या?
They did that in Phone Booth, and then nobody got it.
Okay.
Phone Booth had so many meta jokes,
I
and
know.
nobody understood. हो क्या रहा है?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Phone Booth?
Phone Booth, I've seen uska आधा, but I remember this joke.
Yeah.
Phone Booth badly made. I didn't like it.
No, it is bad. It is like
I mean, it has interesting jokes. It's just one of those things that throws so many jokes at you that obviously not all of them.
उनकी
hit.
एक्टिंग ऐसा लग रहा था कि अभी मतलब लिटरली बोला कि हाँ अभी शॉर्ट रेडी हाँ एंड वो मोमेंट होता है व्हेन यू आर लाइक गेटिंग इनटू द शॉट वो मोमेंट आया है स्क्रीन पे.
they're trying to do the full andaz apna
Yeah,
acting.
exactly.
Like,
Yes.
but
Yeah, and it's not working out for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, brothers. So,
But I have to say, Jackie Shroff, you can
Yeah.
make him do. I don't know whether he reads the script. He's done so many movies in the last 4-5 years. He did a movie called Hello Charlie, okay, where he's inside a gorilla suit throughout the movie.
yeah.
I wonder like how he says yes or why he says yes.
But there is actual video footage. No, video footage. There is actual footage of him accepting that he doesn't read the script because you remember that footage, right?
Dude, that
From the ad that a Maushi
some of the scariest is Sanjay Dutt didn't read the script for Munna Bhai. Can you imagine?
I mean, that was referenced in the movie also.
Yeah. They said Vidu की picture है कर लेते हैं. चल बिडू करते हैं.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I want to come to is this film is a very memed film. There are a lot of scenes from this film which have become memes.
Yeah.
That also I think is one of the reasons why this film has lived on for so many years. The Bhagwati thing,
It's not funny. That one
That.
especially.
तू मेरी बात सुना अर्जुन.
अपने लिए क्या लिखते हो?
This is Abhay Deol. तो मेरी बात सुनो अर्जुन.
Oh my god.
That was your Abhay
I didn't
impression.
understand. I didn't get Abhay Deol at all from that.
Guys, can we not fight?
Don't let it ruin this. That's more.
Yeah.
Listen, Abhay is gonna get after this show. Let's cut the Abhay.
Abhay,
jokes,
we love
please.
you.
We do.
Anytime
We
you
do.
want to be on the show.
He's great in Trial by Fire.
I want to do an episode of Manorama with him for
Yeah.
As It Is. Well, it's a really
Yeah.
great film. The next Zoya film on the cards is The Archies, or is it just Archies? Whatever it is.
Archie's not to be confused with Sairat's Archie. Different.
Oh, good one, huh? Good one.
Anmol, what's your like? How do you gauge that?
I am
film?
only hopeful because she is at the helm of affairs, and they've. See, I'll tell you, I was so skeptical about Class, which
Right.
released on Netflix, but I thought it wasn't bad. As people were trying to troll it, and against the same criticism of rich people problems,
Right.
aise nahi hota hai,
Right.
whatever. But I felt like some of the young actors were really good in it. So I'm hopeful, but I don't know how they're gonna do a high school situation in Ooty. Apparently, they've set
And
it.
isn't it
Yeah.
set in the 60s?
I think they're from the clothes that they were wearing, they were really going for like an Edgar Wright aesthetic. So I don't even know how that's going to play out, because Netflix, I've realized, it's a very, very small market of that's watching those shows.
Yeah.
Which is good for her.
Which is great for her, I
Yeah.
guess, which is true for Class as well. Because if you see Farzi, it's exponentially viewed by way more people versus a Netflix show.
Yeah.
So
But she also has a Made in Heaven for that audience, which I think
Yeah,
is seen by a lot more people. Yeah,
But then
yeah.
also, sorry.
bolo.
Yeah, I was actually, this was a thought that that was going on in my head since a long time. Ki whenever people condemn her movies, they only have one point. Ki these are rich people problems. But the fact that so many people could relate to these problems, doesn't that make you feel good about yourself? Ki अरे इस अंबानी को जो तकलीफ है, मेरे को भी वही तकलीफ है. Like there is no
kept
difference.
saying rich people problem. Then she made Gully Boy. Then
Yeah.
they were like, oh,
Poverty
the
porn.
gaze is not accurate. So yeah, there's no escaping from that.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's maybe the fact that she's a female director who
Sure,
is
of course,
making
that also
good
plays into
movies,
that.
and they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
कि
yeah.
कुछ बोलने को नहीं है तो क्या बोलेंगे?
It's such
अमीर है, that's
it's
the
such
problem.
low-hanging fruit, dude. In terms of criticism, it's like, tell me about the story. Like, what do you not like? नहीं वो दादर में है पूरी picture. अरे, like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like, especially Twitter, it's so many opinions of people who haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
It's just a trailer assumption of what it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Anmol, for doing this.
It was lovely. Thank you, guys.
My producer is signaling at me to do the rewatchability scale, which I haven't forgotten.
Oh,
So at the end of every episode, we do a rewatchability scale from 1 to 10. 1 being it was a product of its time and it's not aged well at all. 10 being I find something new in it every time I see. So on a rewatchability scale of 1 to 10, how much would you rate Zindagi Na Milegi Dobaraa?
So it's a great rewatch for me. I don't find anything new in it.
8.5, no?
So like a 7 or 8.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Pick one.
7. A 7.
Seven,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Urjita?
I'll go with an 8.
8. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's a solid 6. I think it's
Solid तो ऐसे बोला है. Solid तो ऐसे बोला है. जैसे मतलब.
This is Tarun Adarsh show.
Yeah, जैसे साइकिल पे BMW का हेडलाइट लगा है.
Second half थोड़ा धीरे हो गया था.
Yeah.
6 on 10.
Sorry, it's like it's great, but
I really like.
Abbas, the prefixes matter a lot. I have noticed.
No, let me give my reason. No,
Yeah.
I really like Zoya as a filmmaker. I just think the other films she's done are better than this.
Achha.
I mean, Luck by Chance is one of my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Dil Dhadakne Do is growing on me. Gully Boy is also, I think, a very well made film, and that's all. No, that's all she's made.
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
movies, yeah.
So and I'm looking forward to Archie's. Anmol, if you had to rate Zoya's directorial ventures from like 1 to 4, how would you rate them?
Ooh, I think I'm definitely one Luck by Chance. I think about it. I remember loving Gully Boy, and I haven't rewatched it,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. And I feel like even the music was great in that time,
Correct. Yeah.
and I've not really like listened to the album again.
Correct.
Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll put ZNMD, then Dil Dhadakne Do, then
Gully Boy.
No. Is that? I'm gonna get so trolled for it.
But like I wanted to ask you.
Rewatchability is
Yeah.
this scale.
Okay.
Quality, I'll tell you, one luck by chance for sure. I feel like but it's 8 Mile, no, in Mumbai.
Kind of, yeah, you can say that. But it's well done.
It's well done. That's what I was thinking. That I remember.
It's not derivative.
I remember being. I remember a lot of people talking about it and watching it again and again.
And I can tell you.
Dil Dhadakne Do for me is 4.
Okay.
And ZNMD and this
I
is
tell you what,
Gully Boy is a solid 6 to you.
solid 6.
The climax of Dil Dhadakne Do is almost like a quasi Priyadarshan film. So I take it.
Dude, somebody today, because we were doing ZNMD, I posted Ritik's post scuba diving expressions, those close-ups.
Yeah.
And the first question somebody asked me, what do you think about the climax of Dil Dhadakne Do? I was like, dude, that was the most irritating thing I had ever seen. I remember like looking at my brother and being like, kya kar rahe hain? Kahan bhag rahe hain? Kya? That was so sloppy.
That's true. So I don't blame you for putting it on.
De Danadan, Dil Dhadakne Do. Same thing.
All right, cool.
But no. I had to ask this one question. That do you think all of us like Love Luck by Chance so much because it got the stepchild treatment? Do you think Luck by Chance अगर बहुत ज़्यादा famous होती, बहुत hit जाती, तो हम maybe इतना पसंद नहीं करते उसको?
See, I feel like a lot of, I think from a quality standpoint and just the amount she fit into that narrative without it being overwhelming for me worked so well, and I felt like nothing comes close to the actor getting a break process more than that film. But I feel like some films are like, where were you at that point of time? ZNMD, I think, was that for me. I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, world is my oyster. I can do anything. And Tamasha was at one point of time where I didn't know what I wanted to do professionally, and I was like, ye to masterpiece, ye best picture hai, just because of where I was at that time.
Yeah, I love the meta nature of Luck by Chance. I love points where actors play themselves. That whole Filmfare Award section in Om Shanti Om is hilarious.
Shabana Azmi.
Yeah, I love it when that happens. So for me, I think that's what seals it for Luck by Chance.
Because they're in on the joke, they're cracking jokes on themselves, and it's hilarious.
Okay, we have to wrap up because we have to do another audio segment as well. So thank you, Anmol,
Thank you
once
so
again
much,
for
guys.
taking out time and spending time with us. Anything you want to recommend before we wrap up, whether it's Zoya related or non-Zoya related? I mean, of course, we all recommend to follow the Jammy Pants YouTube channel.
It's called Tried and Refused Productions. Yeah.
And anything you want to recommend before we wrap up?
Any recent movie?
Recent movie.
A
recent movie that I have loved. It will not be a Hindi film.
Sure.
Wait, There's a Malayalam film that is in theaters, and I think it's going to release very soon. It's called, digitally it's going to release very soon. It's called Romancham. Okay. It's a bunch of flatmates who, with a random carom board, start an Ouija board with it and call spirits.
Oh, wow.
And it turns into like a comedy of errors.
Nice.
Lovely film.
Romancham.
Yeah.
That's
We'll
a
look
very
out for it.
nice plot.
Yeah. By the time this episode drops, it might be out. So we'll, if it's available, we'll put the link in the description. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anmol. What are your social media handles if people want to reach out to you?
So YouTube, just Tried and Refused Productions, and if you want to see some listicles in Reels formats, you can follow me on Instagram at JammyPants4. Yeah.
Urjita?
You can follow me on Instagram at @UrjitaVani, and you can follow me on Twitter at @VaniUrjita, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be releasing stand-up soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you can follow me at Abbas Momin on Twitter and AbbasMomin88 on Instagram. Lage hai to mera bhi follow kar lo YouTube. I don't know if I will be dropping any video or not, but it's Abbas Momin on YouTube. If you're watching this video on the IVM Pop YouTube channel, please subscribe to it, press the like button, press the bell icon. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please rate us, review us wherever you can, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thank you so much for listening to us. In case you're listening to us on an audio platform, do stick around. We have an alternate ending segment right after this. If you're watching us on video, we have to take your leave. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Till then, bye-bye.